Hey everybody, welcome to today's podcast. I'm your podcast host, Sharita. And hey, I'm not a politician, but I do have a voice and I'm entitled to speak my mind. So we all know what's in the news. So many things are in the news right now, from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. Thing going on at the courthouse here in Virginia. He had a big win yesterday, but still it's not over. But the talk of the town, which is on everybody's tongue, it was on everybody's lip, everybody's ear, Roe versus Wade. Everybody's talking about it. When it first got leaked to the news people, and everybody was wondering, now people are wondering who leaked it. Who leaked the news that the Supreme Court maybe, don't quote me now, maybe overturn Roe versus Wade? We don't know who leaked it, but everybody wants to know who leaked it to the news. Some people think, okay, they had a vendetta on leaking it. Some people think, oh, they did it for a reason, which we all know the reason. Some people have so many different ideas on why the person leaked it. So, and some people want the person that leaked it held accountable because they're saying they should never leak it to the news. But, and then I read somewhere today that one of the senators, or the Democrats or Republicans, I'm not sure who he is, said that he thinks that the lady they just confirmed as the new Supreme Court judge, they think she did it. I think her name Katrina or something. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that neither. But he thinks that she did it. We will never know who leaked it until after it's all over. I want to say, but we don't know who leaked it. All we know, it was leaked, and that was out. Now everybody's talking about it. They're already protesting at the Supreme Court. The pro-lifers, the for-lifers, already protesting. Some people say, okay, if they overturn it, it's a big win. Some people say it's not a big win if they overturn it because it hurts low-income families, low-income women, individual women in certain communities. Then I read somewhere about if they do overturn it, it will only affect 26 states. So 26 states will be affected if they overturn Roe versus Wade. So that means women in those 26 states will not be able to get abortion if they choose to, and they will have to leave out of that state and go to another state. Now, because it was leaked to the quote unquote news, and because we don't know who leaked it, we don't even know the reason why they leaked it. But I said, if they do overturn it, it's going to be a lot of protesting. I mean, a lot of protesting in all 50 states. And to confirm it, I seen yesterday where they posted the news. If they do overturn it, there will be protesting all around the country because this hurts women's right to choose. Am I for abortion? No, I'm not. I really don't weigh in on that, because I know where I stand. And I try not to get entangled in that stuff, but I'm not for abortion. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really not. But something like this is really, really huge. And women get abortions for so many different things. A lot of women that have been raped get abortions because they don't want to carry their rapist baby. Some women that, young adults get abortions. Some women just get abortion because they don't want to have children, and so many different reasons why women get abortions. But this is so huge, so big. So And they also said, according to NPR, it could also impact the transgender community as well. So a lot of people will be impacted. So this is from NPR. Monday night was like any other. Alexis Ringle. I was at home doing my best to relax and, have a nice dinner, she said. Then the news broke that a majority of Supreme Court justices were poised to overturn the landmark Roe versus Wade decision on abortion. And suddenly, Ringle's even plans change. Abortion rights and reproductive rights in this decision are about to trans right, she said. Ringo is a policy counselor at the National Center for Transgender Equality, NCTE, where she organizes in litigation legislations officials at the federal and state level to advocate for transgender rights. We have to recognize that this decision will impact trans folk, she said, particularly trans men and non-binary folks who need access to reproductive health care and abortion specifically. A sense of urgency brought Regal near the steps of the Supreme Court for a midnight protest on Monday, and she said she planned to keep up the momentum. Activists and supporters of the LGBTQ community say any decision to overturn Roe v. Wade could have significant consequences on vulnerable groups and privacy-related rights like access to contraception or gender-affirming care are threatened. So, people are protesting. People are protesting because it will hurt a lot of communities, LGBT, trans community, low income community, different types of communities if they overturn Roe versus Wade. And it's not just about abortion, it's about access to contraception, different things that people don't really know that you could do at Planned Parenthood. You get free pregnancy tests at Planned Parenthood, different things. You can go get free HIV testing there, free healthcare checkup for STDs, which is sexually transmitted disease. So it goes on a lot of wide, broad perspective on why a lot of people don't want them to overrule it and overturn it. So it's a big it is a big, huge discussion, and all people doing right now is waiting. But a lot of people say pray for those Supreme Court people because they people always got something to hate about, and they always hate when legislators and officials overrule on something. So they're protesting right now at the Supreme Court. They're women and they're men. They're different various types of people there at the Supreme Court that are protesting because they do not want them to overturn it because it can infect a lot of people. But people be at Supreme Court all the time protesting about something that they're about to meet on. So it's all different kind of protests that goes on at the Supreme Court. But this is one of the biggest, huge since Brown versus the Board of Education. Back in the day, that was a big, big major impact for the education department and on segregation. If you don't know about Brown versus the Board of Education, go look it up and read about what was about Brown versus the Board of Education. So just like Brown versus the Board of Education, this one, Roe versus Wade, is a big one as well. So all we doing is the weight gain. People are talking about it. People are, a lot of companies, a lot of different companies I've read and I saw, they're starting to put things in place for the women that work there, just in case they do overturn it. and it'll affect 26 states and certain women that work for certain companies. So companies are putting things in place just in case they will have to pay for that particular woman to go to another state to exercise her right to get abortion. Like I said, we need to pray for everybody. Everybody. People are protesting every day on something. And this right here is so huge. It's so huge. So another thing, it's still going. Ukraine and Russia still at it. They still at it. So y'all continue to pray for those, especially the children. The children have been, a lot of children have been displaced by their, from their parents. Either their parents got caught up in crossfire, got caught up in a bombing, or they just misplaced their parents, period, where they can't find them right now. So a lot of young people are fleeing on their own to neighboring countries. um it's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. And we all know what happened a couple of weeks back when Will Smith went up there on the Oscars and slapped Chris Rock. I really didn't want to talk about that, but somebody asked me. They said, "Are you going to talk about that in your podcast?" I say, "Well, I'm not going to talk about it, but I'll mention it. It was a disgrace. Live TV, come on now, really?" Yeah, it was disgrace. And he kind of embarrassed the Oscars. Yeah, all those people, I'm quite sure they was kind of embarrassed. All those people that work behind the scenes and work behind the cameras, I'm quite sure they were embarrassed because it was an embarrassment. Yeah, even though he did apologize and Chris Rock, kind of brushed it off and everything. But can you imagine? People went back and, Chris Rock even said in an interview years ago, he's been bullied all his life as a child. So I'm quite sure when he got slapped, that slap had, brought back a flashback, but hey, it's calmed down just a little bit. We don't know the outcome. We all know that they suspended Will for 10 years from coming to the Oscars or something like that. Don't know if he have to return his Oscar, but I do know in disciplinary cases where some people that got in trouble or whatever the case may be went before the review board for the Oscars. They had meetings and they had to return back their Oscar, you know. But hey, I just wish Will Smith all the best. If anybody know him, tell him, hey, there's a young lady named Sharita Berry. She said she wished you the best and she wanted you to know that she's praying for you. Yes, I am. I'm praying for him, praying for Chris Rock. If you all and anybody know Chris Rock, can say, hey, there's a young lady named Sharita Berry, and she wanted you to know that she's praying for you and she wish you the best. And anybody know Jada Pinkett, say, hey, Jada, there's a young lady named Sharita. She does a podcast and she wants you to know she wish you the best and she's praying for you. I'm praying for all three parties. You know, I'm praying for all their mindset. Believe me. So there's so much that is going on. There been a lot of there have been a lot of shootings, a lot of killings going on. A lot of people are dying, still dying, not just from COVID-19, but the crime rate is on the rise in a lot of states. Just about every day there's either a murder, homicide, suicide rate is climbing. There are different things that are peaking. And one of the things that I want to talk about on today briefly that I heard yesterday as I was listening to one of my friends' podcasts, and she stated, which was so true, that got me to thinking, what is going to happen this summer? You know, don't quote me, quote unquote, unquote, unquote. They say the pandemic is over. I don't think it's over. I think it's still here. I think COVID is still here. It's just died down just a tad bit, but cases are still, numbers are going up gradually in certain states. And she stated, what we're going to do now, that school is about to release and summer is coming up and the kids don't have to stay inside no more. And I said, yeah, you're right. We got to put some programs in place. I remember when I was coming up, there was so many programs, and you know something, they were free. Nowadays, in a lot of states, cities, and towns, parents have to pay for camp. You got to pay for camp. You got to pay to get in the swimming pool. Ain't that crazy? When I was coming up, we ain't had to pay to get in no swimming pool. We just went to swimming pool, went swimming. Went to camp. Some camps was free, some camps were not, but a lot of camps in a lot of low income neighborhoods was free. Nowadays, you can't find a camp that's free. Um, and if it is, it ain't free for real, for real. But we need to create some different programs, free programs for the summer where our youth, when they get out of school, can have a safe place, a safe haven to go to after, after the summer, after school lets out for the summer. Um, Programs, especially those for those young people that live in low income communities and where some parents, they don't really make enough money to afford a camp that costs like $125 a week or 200 some dollars a week. A lot of parents don't even make enough money to send their children away to camp, because there's some camps where you can send your children away for 2 weeks at a time. And a lot of parents that make below the a certain income bracket can't afford that. And I really think that we as a people, especially us older, that's above 40, could kick in and create a program in your community or where you live, where kids can come and learn and play and, get exposed to different cultures, especially if you're a person that's come from a different culture, ethnic background, such as if you were born in Africa, you can get the kids in your community exposed to the African culture, teaching them about, this is what we do in our culture, introduce them to your food, the different foods that you eat. There are so many different things. Those that live in different towns, like if you're from Russia, France, Italy, Rome, Hispanic, introduce the children in your neighborhood to your culture, have a little session. And if you know of a club, you live in a community that have a clubhouse, or you may not live in a community that have a clubhouse, go to the library and print up some flyers, say, I'm having this little small session for 2 weeks for the children, introduce them to culture, so children can learn about different cultures in America, and study our culture. A lot of children have been are from those different ethnic backgrounds and know about their culture, but they may be eager to learn about other cultures and how they live and how things went in their culture, what type of foods they eat and different things like that. If y'all hear something, that's my 1-year-old granddaughter in the background playing. Sometimes she comes with me to the office and plays, and I let her talk on my podcast sometimes here and there, and sometimes. But there's a lot of things that we as older Americans can do to help our young people grow and learn. Education is really the key, because, in a lot of schools here in America, some of the teachers, if they just pass students, and because they want them out their face. So we have a lot of students that graduate high school that are illiterate, don't know how to read, and don't know the basics. So they come out of school, and they can't get a job because they don't know how to fill out a job application, don't know how to dress for a job interview. And we as older Americans, we can set up different programs like that to teach the young boys and girls and teenagers. Hey, let me show you how to fill out a job application. Let me show you how to dress for a interview. Let me teach you and coach you on proper interview skills. These are the things that we as older Americans can help our young adults that are coming out of high school and even in college. You'd be surprised, college students do not know how to fill out a job application. They don't even know how to fill out the FAFSA. You know, when they go and apply for financial aid, some of them don't even know how to fill out FAFSA. So the parents do it, or they go to the financial aid officer and do it. You'd be surprised. You would be surprised. So there's little different things that we can do as older Americans this summer to help the young people out, the youth in America out. And especially, you know, we have a lot of youth now that are refugees that are coming from either Ukraine, that came from other countries to here to America, that may live in your state, that don't know how America is. So is your opportunity to step up as an older American, as a mentor, and say, hey, I know you're from another country, and I know you don't know all about America, but hey, we have a program here in our community where where we educate young people and at the same time mentor. So that's just throwing it out there in the water. So I hope somebody get that fishing pole and fish some nuggets out of that and start something. You know, you're never too. Some people always say, "Well, Sharita, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do this, but I'm old, I can't." Honey, let me tell you something. I knew this lady. She was in her 60s or 70s, and she said she always wanted to. I think she said cook, because everybody always asked her to make potato salad, which was one of her specialties, and she made the bomb potato salad. I would eat her potato salad, but everybody can't make potato salad. So she wanted to do something for a business. I'm not quite sure. I think it was something to do with cooking. But she always said, "Well, I'm too old. I can't do that." And I used to tell her, "You're never too old to do that." I said, "If you want to do it, just do it." She didn't get her license to drive until, oh my gosh, I think she was in her 70s when she got it, or late 60s. And it took her that long. And she got her driver's license and got her a car in her old age, I want to say. But yeah, so you're never too old to do anything. You're never too young. You know, there are so many young people starting businesses, 11-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds starting businesses. And now they're worth their businesses. They're all millionaires now because they started at a young age. Of course, their parents help manage their money. There are people, during a pandemic that left that job, or that job went bankrupt, or whatever the case may be, how a lot of companies did during the pandemic, and they went into business for themselves. I know a woman that went to business, started doing t-shirts. She said she had nothing to do. She lost her job during the pandemic, job moved, or whatever the case may be with her job. And she said she just started selling t-shirts. And she said in 1 month, she made $20,000 in 1 month. I was like, wow. I know another lady that started a t-shirt business, or started a business. And she said within 6 months, she made $100,000 just for doing t-shirts, just for doing things, that craft and different things they did. So many people during the pandemic started their own business. And if you ask them today, would they go back to the corporate America? They'll tell you ain't no way, because they making more money than they made on their job. And that's the thing. A lot of people said there's so many jobs out here, so many jobs, so many jobs. People are hiring left and right. People are employers are offering incentives for people bonuses and stuff, and people complaining people don't want to work. People don't want to work. They're so lazy. No, people don't. It's not that people don't want to work. And no, they're not lazy. It's that a lot of people started their own business. And when they compare what they make from their business to what they was getting in a paycheck, they ain't going back to that 9 to 5. They decided to work for themselves. Why? Because they make more money in 2 days or in a day compared to what they was making from that 9 to 5 job. So it's not that they lazy, don't want to work. It's that they making more money than what they was working in an office. I don't knock them. Hey, if you want to open up a business, go for it. Go for it. Once I heard somebody, they say it take like 5 years before you really can before your money can really make money for you. It take 5 years to really become successful. I heard that somewhere. I don't know where, but my daughter used to say that because she's in school for business, getting her business degree. And she said, "Ma, it take 5 years for you to really become successful." And I was like, "Really?" She said, "Yeah." She said, because you're going to have different failures along the way. You're going to mess up something along the way. You're going to have setbacks along the way until you really get it right. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're so right. You are so right. So if you want to start a business, go for it. But just remember, when you start your business, something might go wrong the first try, but you keep trying. You might fail at this, but you keep trying. Some might break down, but you keep trying. You want to start a trucking business. Truck might break down the first time, but you keep trying. Keep fixing that truck, and before long that truck ain't gonna break down. You might want to become a beautician. Hey, you might get something messed up for the mixed two ingredients and it dyed somebody's hair orange. Hey, you go back and do it again. I always recommend this book. There are a lot of books out there that people can read, but I always recommend this book. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You can't go wrong with that book. That is a good book. And I'm serious. That is a good book to read. I know you may have a lot of books in your closet or your cabinet or your library, but do you have that book? And if you don't have that book, go purchase it. It's on Amazon. It's in Barnes and Nobles if you got Barnes and Noble. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Whew, that book will teach you some stuff. It will help you with some stuff. Because let me tell y'all something. The greatest entrepreneur in the world failed several times before they became successful. The top millionaire in the world failed along the way many times before they made their first billion. I'm quite sure that the Elon Musk, before he became a billionaire, millionaire, successful, he failed at a lot of things on his journey before he became successful. I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure if you ask him, hey, if anybody know him, ask him. Say, hey, Mr. Musk, I know you're billionaire, millionaire, whatever, which one you want to call yourself. But did you have any setbacks, any failures along the way? And what did you do? Did you give up or did you keep pushing? I'm quite sure the owner that owns Amazon, he started in his house. Yes. I'm quite sure he had a lot of setbacks before he became successful, before he made his first million. It was a guy, he made FUBU tennis shoes. Y'all remember them tennis shoes called FUBU? Yeah. He started in I think he started in his mother's basement. And he said a lot of people turned him down because of his designs and stuff like that. A lot of people turned him down. His style, his designs. And he said that his mother was his first investor and she invested in him, helping him get his tennis shoes out there, products out there. And look at him now. So you'll have a lot of setbacks along the way, a lot of failures along the way when you're venturing out, starting your own business. But don't give up. There's many times I wanted to give up. I went to my own family, say, hey, won't y'all invest in my business? I need these two machines for my business. I only needed two machines to help me. Nobody in my family wanted to make an investment. Not even my own children. Ain't that something? But you know something? I say, you know what? It's okay. I'm all right because everybody got to start somewhere. So I just said, okay, since I don't have the two machines, I'm just put this part of the business to the side until I do get the two machines. I'll save up until I can afford them. So I do what I do. And that's what you do when you start a business. You have a business need. Hey, save up for it, or you just do what you do until you can get what you need for your business. But you don't give up. That's the thing. You may want to give up, but you don't give up. So I'm going to end right there because I'm not a politician. I just have a voice. So I speak about a lot of stuff. Well, y'all continue to, pay attention to what's going on in America. Pay attention to what's going on abroad. Keep your eyes open and your ears sharp. And I'm going to say peace out. If you want to email me, Sharita Berry, as you see on the screen at the bottom of my picture, Sharita Berry at Outlook.com. Sharita Berry at Outlook.com. So on that note, peace, deuces, and what? Namaste.